Technology is advancing faster by the day, leaving the sports world and its fans racing to keep up.
People are trying to not have something that looks like everyone else's so they stand out.
From display breakthroughs straight out of science fiction,
weaving and stitching all of that data together,
to data-driven leaps in fan accessibility.
You have to have big, bold, engaging technology.
There's a massive difference between Big Brother and Big Mother.
It's about the whole entertainment experience around you, choreographed just right to maximize your enjoyment.
Witness as the future arrives on Sports Business Journal Inside the Industry, presented by DXE Technology. I'm your host, Tarick El-Bashir, and joining me in the Vanda studios are Sports Business Journal senior reporter Joe Lemire, KPMG Principal Transformation Executive Dave Wolfe, and your friend and mine, Sports Business Journal's publisher and executive editor, Abe Madkour. Welcome all.
Great to be with you.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure.
What's in the lineup today?
A lot about digital and technology. In-venue digital displays are entertaining fans like never before. Virtual and augmented reality bringing fans closer to the game. We're seeing the use of massive data, which is letting us understand who the fans are. And new technologies are making sports more accessible for fans, even with disabilities. And so there's so much energy in this space. It's really making the fan experience so much more enhanced. Dave, you've been in this business a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive transformation that's going on. We've got 50 plus arenas in the US alone that are going through either renovation or building out a mixed use district. And I have the amazing job of getting to spend all day thinking about the fans and what their experience is going to be like at what's a really memorable moment in their lives, right? Seeing a live sporting event. Then step back and say, now what technologies do we need? And that sofa to seat to sofa experience.
When you look at all that's happening around these arenas, what's driving that innovation?
If you're a venue operator or run a franchise, you need to have that whole fan experience journey accounted for. Everything from ticketing to stadium maps, often with wayfinding, even details like parking and concessions. As much as you can consolidate that in one app, make it simple for fans, and then once you get to your seats, it, of course, is about the action on the court, on the ice, but it's also about the whole entertainment experience around you, and the LED ribbon boards, the big video board that's center hung, choreographed just right to maximize your enjoyment.
And everyone's trying to have a bigger board, and then everyone's trying to go bigger than the other person. It's really a competitive game out there to see who can make the fan experience more vivid, and you have to have big, bold, engaging technology to make that happen.
Well, guys, we sat down with one of the folks central to the evolution of stadium display technology.
These giant scoreboards are becoming a major part of the architecture of the building. And if you see a picture of a stadium, you know where it's at. But if you see a picture of the scoreboard, you also know where it's at. People are trying to not have something that looks like everyone else's so they stand out. So at Daktronics, we're constantly developing R&D in our technology to making sure that what they get is the latest and greatest and it's going to last 10 years. But then software, that can keep updating to make sure it's staying current and can do newer and better things. You got to mix it up with fans, especially season ticket holders, right? They don't want to see the same exact show every night. In the past, it's traditionally been in the bowl, the end zone scoreboards or the center hung at the arenas and the ribbon boards. But in the last 5 years, we've kind of seen that expand outside the bowl. So in the concourses, the exterior plaza, green space, entertainment districts, and now we're even in the parking garages. When you enter the freeway and get near the venue, we start having technology that you're seeing that's guiding to where you need to go and then entertain them when they're there before gates open. When you have that much canvas, there's so much you can do to entertain everybody. Everyone has maybe different triggers that entertains them, right? So I think there'll be some amazing moments that they can create with that. It energizes the entire crowd, right? And that's part of the fan experience. How do we create that moment? And having kids myself, watching them be kids and want to go back. I think that's the fan experience that we want. When you see the excitement that the customers have, and they're doing this for the fans. I mean, the fans are coming there, they're cheering for the team, they're helping the team hopefully win, and seeing their excitement and the fans' excitement at the same time, it's pretty special. I love going after we've done a project and everyone looks at the scoreboard and then they just go, wow.
Abe, why do you think these unique displays are so important to teams and franchises right now?
I call it the E factor: energy, engagement, excitement. Very important. Their greatest competition is fans staying home on the couch, where it's very easy and accessible, right?
Yeah, it's an experience you can't get at home.
Yeah.
Right? It's an experience that's unique to the venue. You're joining this community of tens of thousands of people around you with one like-minded purpose, and that's really powerful.
Yeah, and it's a way to serve fans where they are. You look at a lot of Major League Baseball boards in particular, and you're going to have the basic stats that a casual fan might be interested in, but usually they now have enough real estate on that video board to put in the advanced StatCast data. You also have all the new sponsorship revenue, which is what every team is looking for these days. And there's, of course, just the communal experience, whether it's the hype videos or the celebrity lookalikes to get everyone to laugh and enjoying that experience.
So guys, is bigger always better? I feel like the screen's getting massive.
Yeah, I think you hit on it, like how big is too big, and you're probably more of an expert than anybody, but I do think that's what owners and venue designers and operators are really wrestling with.
Yeah, I think content is king, right? And to create cohesion, we're going from these arena renovations, especially as we're building mixed-use districts, digital signage really ties the space together with the brand and message and the experience you're looking for.
You know, and I got to imagine that the average fan, the first thing they notice are the screens and how big they are and how sharp they are.
Yeah, now they're even having to create new shapes. Some of these halo shapes are really remarkable, and it adds so much more surface area that you can see from every different angle to make sure that everyone has a similar experience no matter where your seat is.
The halos are cool, but I will say the first time I walked into AT&T Stadium in Dallas, in the 400 section, and someone was playing Madden on that massive screen, I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing.
It's funny you say that. I remember walking into Fenway Park for the first time. My eyes were fixed on the field and the green grass. Now, you're right. People are probably going in heads more up at the technology with the wow factor, and that's what these boards deliver.
And sometimes T-shirts. The Clippers Intuit Dome Halo board shoots T-shirts, so even you in your 400 level seat could get a T-shirt.
Well, coming up next, we'll find out how cutting-edge data technology is feeding your favorite sports app.
There's just so much that AI unlocks to create a better experience.
And later, we'll sit courtside as augmented and virtual reality change the way we view athletics.
Imagine if highlights like literally overlaying what you're seeing, you know, on a court or on a field.
That and more when we return. Welcome back. Boosting fan engagement by deploying sports data presents a major test for the industry. We sat down with DXC Technology CEO Raul Fernandez to hear how your favorite leagues are tackling that challenge. Raul, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, I'm so happy to be here.
What can you tell us about DXC Technology?
I think that what's incredible about DXC is its footprint of clients that rely on us to help run their airlines, to make software that goes inside cars, to help AI make a difference at hospitals. So it's a really great technology company and an opportunity to do so much more with the 130,000 employees that we have globally in 80 countries.
80 countries, 200 plus partnerships. Among those partnerships are a lot of sports franchises.
We're super excited to work with teams. It is part of a passion base that I have and that my teammates have. And I think the opportunity is to really focus on the fan, to really focus on how we can personalize every aspect of what we do when you come into the arena and create a world-class environment. There's a lot to do with data, there's a lot to do with AI. When you think about reimagining the fan experience, whether it's placing a wager or buying a product, there's just so much that AI unlocks and that really allows technology partners to create a better experience.
For like the common sports fan, how is AI gonna change the way they interact with their favorite teams and enjoy sports in the building?
I think fans love to have insight and knowledge that they didn't have before. Yeah. One of the keys to AI is multimodal. So you've got images, you've got text data, you've got sound, all being woven together in a way that's unique, and then ultimately consuming the way you want it. Built within our apps, we're going to try to create the pre-game experience in just a more personalized way, be able to set up any sort of concessions ahead of time. Yeah. At the end of the day, technology is about connecting the dots and eliminating friction. We're very fan-centric, so we want to make sure that the experience as you begin to come to the arena is awesome, as you get in the arena is awesome and personalized, and as you go home, you get to consume highlights and other things and prepare hopefully for the next game and the next win.
We see the teams using all this data. What's in it for the fan?
I will say the buzzword everybody's talking about, personalization. They will know everything they can about you, the fan, in terms of your habits, your likes, your dislikes. I think we'd all argue that sometimes going to a sports event is not the easiest thing in the world. And so teams are trying to make it easier and more enjoyable. And so when you walk into that venue, there are specific enhancements personalized for you and the family.
Absolutely. I mean, we want to feel like that experience is for us. That means building an integrated data platform, a connective tissue that ties together the cameras, the points of sale, the ticketing, wait times and lines. And this should be a win-win for everybody. If I know that I have half the wait, that's a win for the fan who's having a better night, and it's a win for the venue and driving new revenue opportunities.
And the benefit for the team is that the more they know about you, they make sure that you buy more tickets in the section that you want, the opponents that you want. One of the classic examples now is Intuit, which has perhaps the most cohesive data platform that I've had the chance to see. And it's everything from using your face for the ticket to buying the concessions. And the Clippers have found that more people have opted in than they even expected.
Really?
Like about 50% of people were signing up before the first few games that they attended. Okay. And by the time they were leaving, it was closer to 70 or 80%.
Joe, are there some fans that are wary about giving up all that information?
Yeah, absolutely. It needs to be clear that most of this has an opt-out component, or better yet, sometimes an opt-in in the first place.
That's the point, right? There's a massive difference between Big Brother and Big Mother. And when we're using this data and information, right, to make you have a better experience, to help you find the hot chocolate for your kid, and that's Big Mother. We're helping you have a better night and a better experience.
There was an experience where some fans got off the elevator and there was their signature cocktail, their favorite drink, waiting for them.
What drink was waiting for you?
That would incriminate me. I can't say that.
I mean, I would give my social security number to get through the beer line and back to my seat faster.
Yeah, a shorter line, a better product, more time focusing on community and family and the event that's going on that night. That's just a win.
You're exactly right. Let's hear from another innovator who changed how fans experience the game, this time through augmented and virtual reality.
Hey, Meta, how strong is the wind today?
The wind is blowing 12 miles per hour from the northwest.
Yeah, I got that.
Glasses will eventually be better solutions for what we use mobile phones today. You see there's two cameras here. I can capture photos, I can capture videos, I can live stream.
Play my hike playlist.
And I can do that without having to fumble for my phone, without having to miss the moment. And of course, sports is a key part of this. Like every platform that's ever come before it, sports is critical to driving adoption.
How am I doing?
You have ridden 54 miles.
Imagine if everyone in your stadium or arena has a pair of glasses on their face that can access all the things that they use their phone for. Things like entry and exit, ordering food and concessions, things like delivering highlights, like literally overlaying what you're seeing, on a court or on a field with information. You have all that for television. You don't have it when you physically go to the game. Guess what? You can now. But then the immersion where you can physically transport somewhere, where you can literally sit courtside in an NBA game, or you can have an F1 race on your tabletop, and then switch right to the driver's, field of view, again, immersively. There's a social connection. I can be sitting here, I live in the Bay Area, you're here in New York. We could be watching a game together with your, digitally embodied avatar, and we're sitting there just like we're sitting here. So I just think there's a lot of those things that will be the norm very soon.
Guys, one of my biggest regrets was when I went to the optometrist in recent months to get some new glasses, and they said, oh, you gotta get the Meta glasses. And then I just got these. Man, did I mess up. I really, really wish I had gotten those.
The augmented reality, I think, is really where it's going to take off. Even when you're in the venue, there was a demo a couple of years ago where you could see the tracking data, like even as fast as the NHL game moves, it'll highlight players saying, oh, they're skating at this speed. The same technology was used at the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, where you could get similar sort of advanced stats, but there are also gamification elements to this too. Sports leagues and broadcasters are really prioritizing this for the at-home experience. It will scan any field, it will recognize the lines, and then you can play little home run video games and all sorts of fun little elements, keep the fan engaged longer.
It's got to start with the fan, right? When we're designing these experiences, we're looking at the fan's journey. What does that feel like, sound like, look like to them? And trying to make that experience in the venue more compelling than watching it at home, we need to give them access to things like statistics, out of town, scores. But you were starting to see augmented reality in things like wayfinding. So I want a hot chocolate. Where can I find that? And guiding me to that product and coming back to my seat are some really interesting use cases that really focus on the fan.
Will these devices and these technologies be widely adopted by fans? I bring it up because I think a decade ago, I thought maybe in 2 or 3 years, everybody would have that headset. Here we are a decade later, still not widely adopted, but they've moved on to different type of technologies.
I think in the near term, you're not going to see full widespread adoption. I think fans are still going to want that sports experience they've always had. I think it's going to appeal to those who want something a little extra, and whether it is the stats or the casual fan seeking a gamification element.
I think they're going to be widely adopted in life. And the sport is going to be a part of what you're experiencing across your life. And it's about making it natural enough, right? And making it feel like it's supposed to be there.
How do leagues and teams monetize this technology?
A lot of these experiences are going to be branded assets. A lot of those little gamification elements that I was talking about are all going to have a sweepstakes with a corporate sponsor behind it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, again, we have to take the wayfinding example. If I went looking for hot chocolate, but there was too many concourses away, but there's hot cider near me, well, now that's a new targeted ad that the venue can sell. And that's that same win-win.
Well, it's time again to test our knowledge with the best part of Abe's day, the Money Minute. Today's question, how many data points does the NBA's player tracking system collect every single game? Who's ready to program?
A lot.
I need a number, Abe.
I have no idea. Whatever Joe Lemire says, I'm going to take the under.
Okay, what do you got?
It's amazing that simple camera, there are 12 of them around the arena, that how much they can collect, how much they fuel in terms of data, analytics, fan experiences. It collects 29 points on every player's body, 30 frames per second. So 29 times 30, 10 players on the court. It's got to be maybe tens of millions.
Player motions, referees, whistle blows. I'll go with lucky 13 million.
Abe?
2 million.
Okay, we'll reveal the answer and welcome some very important fans to the arena right after this. Well, time for the big reveal. How many data points does the NBA's player tracking system collect every single game? The NBA's cameras record the players' every move, generating roughly 10 million data points per contest. How about that?
You were very close. Well done, both of you.
I don't know, Abe. I mean, you just saying big number, that might actually have gotten closest to 10 million.
I'll take it. Thank you for that compliment.
Well, let's discover how live sports are being made more accessible for all.
How can we bring our fans to the game in new and different ways?
Opportunities to bring kids together with their families and watch something is really important to us.
There is a ton of focus right now on making the experience as intense and engaging and amazing and technologically savvy as possible. But I think some of the really simple innovations around accessibility have been really important. the addition of sensory spaces at a lot of different venues, and it's more welcoming so that people feel like they can bring their kids or anyone.
We have almost 34,000 live events across ESPN's platforms, whether it's personalization or generating clips and content creation. And to caption those is going to be great with AI. It's not about replacing what you're doing creatively, but being able to do things a little bit faster.
There's this company called OneCourt that we're working with, and this is for blind and visually impaired people at games. And you have a tablet, and you have tactile haptics, so you're watching a game and there's a dump. You can feel the game. I've seen some of the clips. You have, this blind kid at the game who's able, with his family, to enjoy the game in the moment. And it's not just at the game live, it's watching the game in the moment. And so you see things like that as how can we bring fans who maybe weren't able to enjoy games in new and different ways?
Abe, let's start with you. Why is it so important to make sure sporting events are accessible to all?
The mission behind a lot of sports organizations is being almost a town square to bring people who may not experience sports previously to make them feel welcome and accessible. And I've seen great strides in the industry over the last 2 decades.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I were to have a family member who had a need, it would be a lot harder to go and have that kind of outing at the stadium. And so, OneCourt is something I've seen deployed a few times now. It's really spreading, and that's a great product. One other area that we're seeing a rise in the growth of these sensory rooms for neurodivergent members of the community and fans who want to come to a game but maybe need a slightly different environment. And there's a growing number, but there's still a long way to go. I think it's about 30% of all U.S. professional sports stadiums now have a space like that, and it's a wonderful, welcoming way to make sure that all families' needs are being met.
Yep.
Yeah, that's important, obviously, in the physical space. I mean, from the digital side, if we know about the fan and we know that they have a particular food allergy, we can actually highlight that based on knowing where they are and what line they're in. We can update that digital signage to warn that person that there's a food allergy risk here.
Well, guys, before we hit the locker room, what would you all say to a quick round of buy, sell, hold?
Absolutely.
I will buy that.
All right, well, let's do it. In 10 years, more people will watch sporting events via augmented reality glasses than via phones. Buy, sell, hold. Abe?
Since I don't know anything about the future of technology, I'm going to say hold.
Cop out.
I'm going to go with buy. I think that the statistics and gaming and other sort of outside influences are going to drive people to want to have that real-time information.
I'll buy on 10 years,
Okay.
but I would sell if it was 5 or less.
We will see a large-scale holographic scoreboard display in an arena within a decade.
Yeah, I think I'd probably buy that too.
Okay.
A decade is a long time with the pace of technology right now.
Dave?
Yes, strong buy.
And buy.
As data capture and analysis improves, fans using AI to choose their wagers will squeeze profits from the gaming industry.
Sell. Never bet against Vegas.
All right.
Yeah, sell, same reason.
Yeah, nothing's going to squeeze their profits, no.
And finally, next time we tape an episode, Abe will be wearing a pair of AR glasses just to look up the money minute.
Not a bad idea.
All right. Buy, sell, hold.
I'm going to buy on that one.
Dave?
I'm going to buy because I want to see it happen.
Yeah, same.
When's the next episode? Bring it.
Well, that's all for now. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Sports Business Journal Inside the Industry, presented by DXC Technology.